Hello, my dear friends. Today I want to talk about a mystical concept called the Or Haganuz, the hidden light. Rashi mentions this in Chumash. When God created the world, there was a different type of light that was available in the world. And Adam Harishon was able to use that light to see from one end of the universe to the other. It was a very powerful spiritual type of light. But God decided that man was not worthy of enjoying that light, so he took that light and he hid it. He was going, he said, he buried it, that light. So Rashi says, where did he bury it? Rashi says he buried it in Olam Haba. For tzaddikim, tzaddikim are able to benefit from that light in Olam Haba. Many say that God not only buried it in Olam Haba, but that light is buried in Torah, because Torah is called Or. Torah is like the Torah Or, your mitzvah Torah Or. When a person learns Torah, you're able to access that light. It means it's a spiritual light. It illuminates our lives. It gives us an insight. It allows us to connect to the divine and live our lives on a different plane. So that light is hidden, embedded in Torah, and it's accessible to us. That's a second place where the Or Haganuz is available. But the Rokeach, who was the Rokeach was written, it's the name of a sefer, was written by Rabbi Rokeach. Rabbi Rokeach was a great Mekubal, German Mekubal, lived in the 12th century. The Rokeach says that the Or Haganuz is hidden in the Chanukah candles, because the Medrash says that Adam Harishon had benefited from the used the Or Haganuz, that light, for 36 hours. He was created on Friday, Erev Shabbos, it's 12 hours. And then Shabbos is 20, the Friday night and Shabbos day is 24 hours. That's 36 total. And the Or Haganuz was taken away Motzei Shabbos, because Adam Rishon was able to make a fire Motzei Shabbos, as the Chazal say, with sticks and stones. And that's why when we make Havdalah, we say Bari Mara Eisha Motzei Shabbos. So Adam Harishon had access to that Or Haganuz for 36 hours. So the Rokeach is a magnificent thing. How many candles do we light on Chanukah? 36, add it up. 1, 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. 36. 36 is because the Or, it's not a random number. It's because the Or Haganuz was in this world for 36 hours, and therefore, when we light the Chanukah menorah, it connects us to that Or Haganuz that was in this world for 36 hours. In other words, the experience of lighting the menorah is able to unleash within ourselves this Or Haganuz, or allow us access to these Or Haganuz through the 36 candles of the menorah. What's the underlying? What is like very mystical? So how do we bring it down to our level of understanding? So Moshe Tendler, Zatzal, who passed away recently, used to say, I heard this from a number of his Talmidim, that Chanukah teaches that we underestimate our own potential, and we always have to aspire to go higher and reach higher levels, because the Chashmonaim, they thought it's impossible. The small army, the untrained, the sophisticated army of the Yevanim, they'll never be able to overcome them. And lo and behold, they were able to overcome the army of the Yevanim. And then they went to the Beis Hamikdash, and they only had one flask of oil, and they thought it would only last one day, and they lit it, and it lasted the second day, and the third day, and the fourth day, and it ended, and it lasted for 8 days. So it shows the enormous amount of potential both in the menorah, in the shemen, in the oil, and in the human being, that they were able, the Chashmonaim were victorious. And it's a lesson for us. Chanukah teaches us, always aspire for something higher. When we light the menorah, we light Malam B'Kodesh, we most of a we add another candle every day, because every day we have to try to reach a higher level. One of the great problems that we live with is that we think that we're incapable. We think that we can't do more, and we're satisfied with mediocrity. And the menorah teaches that there's always more more potential within ourselves. And so if you put this all together, that potential is the Or Haganuz. It was embedded within ourselves when God created the human neshama. The neshama has unbelievable koichos, unbelievable potential. That's the Or Haganuz. And when we light the menorah, where it's a way of helping us access the Or Haganuz, not only in the shemen of the menorah, but more importantly, within our own souls, that the Or HaGanuz is hidden within ourselves as well. Now you'll say to me, what is this Or HaGanuz business that you're talking about? It sounds very abstract. So I want to tell you 2 points I want to bring out to you. I want to bring to your attention. First of all, I witnessed the Or HaGanuz. We all witness the Or HaGanuz all the time. I'll tell you how. Because there are people who you would never dream that they would be capable of going through transformation and becoming great spiritual individuals. I've seen it in our shul. The young people in our shul, they go off to Eretz Yisrael, nice, sweet American boys. They're coming out of high school, and they come back from Eretz Yisrael transformed. Something happened to them, and there's such a and I said this before. Even when you look at them, they don't look the same as they looked before, because the light of Torah is shining on their faces, and that's the Or HaGanuz. Moshe Rabbeinu had the Or HaGanuz. He had the Karnei Or, the rays of light. But it's not only Moshe Rabbeinu. I'm telling you, I've seen it in the yeshiva brachim in our community. When they come back, you see the tremendous light that they're able to find within themselves. And the Baal Tshuva movement, people, again, in a million years, you would never dream that they could become Baal Tshuva or that they could become important religious figures. And they bring an enormous amount of life into the world. I was just reading something from Rabbi Jonathan Sachs. The Lubavitcher Rebbe made Jonathan Sachs who he was. He told him he has to become, and he went to speak to him and ask him what profession he should go into, philosophy or this and that. The Rebbe told me, you have to teach Torah. And the amount of light that came from Jonathan Sachs is such beautiful and powerful Torah. That's Or HaGanuz. It's Ganuz because it was there. And in the yeshiva brachim and in the Bali Tshuva, it's locked in the person. It's there inside the person's neshama. And all you have to do is be able to access it. You don't have to create it. You have to access it. And then the Or HaGanuz emerges. So that's one place where you see Or HaGanuz. It's not just a mystical, abstract idea. In every Jewish soul, there's an Or HaGanuz. But I'll give you another place where you see the Or HaGanuz. The Chazal say that the spiritual world is parallel to the physical world. In the physical world, there's also an Or HaGanuz. The Or HaGanuz that Chazal are talking about is a spiritual Or HaGanuz. But there's a physical Or HaGanuz. Because Albert Einstein, a Jewish man, Albert Einstein, he was the one that, I don't know if he discovered, but he defined how much energy is there in matter. He said that there's a relationship. You could transfer matter into energy. How much energy can you extract from matter? So Einstein said, and everybody knows this, E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. And that amount of energy is unbelievable. It's astounding. It was on the basis of Einstein's theory of relativity and E equals mc squared that the atom bomb was built. The atom bomb, how much, it was, atom bombs are from uranium. How much uranium did they use to build the first atom bomb that blew up Hiroshima, whole city? It was approximately 35 pounds of uranium that they used to make the atom bomb. And that was a small bomb, and now it is much more powerful bombs. And even the atom bombs, it's only a fraction of the amount of energy that's within matter. And when there's an atom bomb, what you're doing is you're taking the matter and converting it into energy, or you're releasing the energy from the matter. And the amount of energy is E equals mc squared. It's an unbelievable thing. Take a small object, you use a sitter or a cup or whatever. There's enough energy if you're able to extract it to light up a whole city for a day or for a week or for a month. Where is that at? You can't even see it. How is it possible? You have 35 pounds of uranium, you can blow up a whole city? Where did that energy come from? The answer is, it's there. It's embedded in matter, is embedded the energy. E equals mc squared. That's an astounding amount of energy that's embedded. So in the physical world, there's hidden, there's organos, there's energy that's hidden in matter, within every atom. There's an enormous amount of energy. Except normally you can't access it, but if you can release it and you can transform it, it's astounding how much energy is there. So if it's true in the physical world, it's certainly true in the spiritual world. That every human being is Etzel Melchim, he's the creation of God Kadosh Baruch Hu, and if you could find tremendous well springs of spiritual energy in the human being, and that's the Or Haganuz. So when we light the Chanukah menorah, that's something that we should be thinking about, is that by lighting the menorah, we are connecting with the spiritual energy within ourselves. The 36 candles of the menorah, which is connected, the 36 hours that the Or Haganuz was available in this world. So we're connecting to that with the Chanukah candles, and we're able to access the Or Haganuz not only in the physical world, but also within ourselves, within our own neshama. We can access the Or Haganuz. So I heard something beautiful a few days ago. I was watching a YouTube. There's Simcha Kar brought to my attention that there's a new great person in Eretz Yisrael who's known as the Chanukah. He's an amazing Talmid Chacham. He's a Mekubal. You could Google his name, Chanukah, and you'll see videos of him speaking. He knows Kol Tarku. He's a young man. He's just remarkable. He knows Nigla and Nister. And he was, until recently, nobody knew who he was, and he was studying privately by himself, and now he became allowed himself to be known, and he gives shiurim, and it's unbelievable. There's like hundreds of people, and you see these people with long white beards, and he's a young man, and they sit there with great reverence listening to shiurim. So I listened to the Chanukah deliver a shiur, and when he was speaking about Chanukah, he said that when we this idea of the Rokach, that there's Or Haganuz in the menorah and there's Or Haganuz within ourselves, so he says we should realize that not only is the Or Haganuz within us, but there's Or Haganuz within every Jew. Every single Jew, no matter how far away the Jew may have strayed, there's Or Haganuz. And we have to be, when we're lighting the menorah, it's not only to unlock the Or Haganuz, then in its enormous potential within ourselves, it's that we should appreciate the Or Haganuz that's in everybody that we know, all our friends and all our chaverim and all our family, but all, even beyond, all of Klal Yisrael. Every single Jew has Or Haganuz, and most of it is tremendously untapped. Just like the atom bomb, normally you can't access so much energy. It's a minuscule amount of energy. You could access something when you make a fire, but it's minuscule. But it is so much potential there. So in all of us, there's enormous amount of energy. And if Chanukah teaches that we always have to aspire for more, and we don't appreciate how much there is. So it's not only within ourselves, but it's with everybody else. And we have to look for ways to bring out the Or Haganuz from other people. With that, we have to be able to discover the Or Haganuz within ourselves. But just as important, or maybe more importantly, is that we have to be able to discover and facilitate that the Or Haganuz should emerge from other people as well. And we write people off, and we think they're no good, and there's nothing they're worthless, and this and that. Every single Jew has an enormous amount of Or Haganuz. Every human being has Etzel Melchim has great potential of Or Haganuz. And then when we light the menorah, that's something to think about. That light locked in those candles was enough light. They thought it was only going to be able to burn one day, but there was Or Haganuz. The light was hidden in the oil, and that's why I was able to light for 8 days. And according to the Rekeh, what he's saying is that the light was there in the menorah, but you couldn't get to it. Normally, when you light a candle, it only lasts 1 day. But on Chanukah, because they found the Or Haganuz within themselves, because they They went and they revolted against the Yevanim and against tremendous odds. They were successful. So the same way that they found the Or Haganuz in themselves, so they were able, when they went into the base of Mishnah, they would find that Or Haganuz in the oil in the menorah. But it's not only in the menorah; it's within ourselves. We all have tremendous Or Haganuz, and we like the menorah, where you should be thinking about unlocking the Or Haganuz within ourselves and unlocking the Or Haganuz within our fellow Jews, because every Jew has an enormous amount. There's an E equals MC square amount of spiritual energy. And I don't know if that's the formula, but it's something along those lines. There's an E equals MC square amount of spiritual energy in ourselves and in all of our fellow Jews. Thank you very much for listening. I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbos and a happy Chanukah.